Solo dating is not preparing yourself for a significant other. It is about preparing yourself for interactions in the outside world, how to interact with other people, for social interactions.
What's happening, everybody? It is CLE and I'm back again as usual, although I am very late. But however, today we are going to talk about solo dating. Yo, okay, so I have my mic here. So please, don't judge.
Now, I feel that solo dating is crucial. It is the rite of passage for everyone in this world because it is very important to get to know every inch of yourself and about yourself before letting someone else know, or before letting someone else try to figure you out. You have to figure yourself out first. That's what I believe. And I'm pretty sure it has been working for me a lot. Okay, it is very crucial. Solo dating is not only just about spending time with yourself. Okay, I feel like it guarantees you more safer boundaries that you will place in order to protect yourself from other people, or in order to protect yourself from being mistreated. It is not about treating yourself for that particular moment, or just um trying to enjoy your own company for a couple of months. No. Solo dating is basically you interviewing yourself to actually get to know yourself better. Solo dating is about making you aware of the individual you are and becoming. It is very important to know your boundaries, what you can stand and what you cannot. So that's where solo dating hits, because you get to learn that some things are for me, some things are not. What type of actions just turn you off? What type of actions gets you into the zone of being appreciated and acknowledged? And however, solo dating is not preparing yourself for a significant other. It is about preparing yourself for interactions in the outside world, how to interact with other people, for social interactions and social connections. It's not just about, oh my God, I'm gonna meet this guy and I have to be my best. No, it is about knowing where you stand in the world. It's about finding yourself in this world, finding the individuality that you want to become, because we all know that we are individuals in this world, and most of the time we get clouded by society's judgments, and we want to follow society's rules and regulations, but forgetting that we also have individual souls that we have to please, that we have to live by. There are certain things that society wants us to do and wants us to feel comfortable doing, but it's not it. Okay, we are not comfortable doing most of what society wants from us. So solo dating is about finding what you really want, finding what really matters in your life, finding out that, okay, there are certain things that society cannot offer me, and there are certain things that I cannot live by when it comes to the things of this world. It is very important, like I said, to find your individuality side. When I speak about solo dating, what comes to mind is regrouping yourself, introspection, getting to know yourself, learning about yourself, learning about what makes you feel sad, what are your boundaries, what can you take, what can you not take, what are the principles that you actually live by, because people live by different principles. Honestly, there are certain standards that I can put in place, and there are certain standards that an individual other cannot put in place. You know what I mean? Like, my standards are very high, and other people may think that my standards are really ridiculous and they are really not necessary. But since I have done the solo dating journey, I believe that they are very reasonable. Okay, through my experiences, I guarantee protecting myself with these standards is very crucial for me. So that's how I know that solo dating can help you, okay? Can help you live a better life. Now, anyways, what is this solo dating I'm talking about? Now, solo dating is the pure intentional act of being in your own space, of seeking your inner self and your inner conscious and asking yourself deep questions. It's like being your own interviewer. And you are here to interview yourself, asking questions about yourself that no one else can ask you. Solo dating is about enhancing your self awareness. It's about enhancing what you think of yourself. It's about making sure that you treat yourself right first before letting other people treat you. It's about knowing what and how you want to be treated by other people. Okay. In fact, you must learn this firsthand. You must learn how to treat yourself firsthand before letting somebody else treat you. Okay? Because there are certain things that we can take in life and you don't want to be surprised. Maybe a person um spoils you. You meet a person and they spoil you for some time and you're like so surprised, like, oh my god, oh my god, they buy me all these bags, they buy me all these gifts. But if you bought yourself those gifts, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. Like it would be, yeah, okay, it's gifts. Sure. Like you would show appreciation, yes, but you wouldn't be that surprised. All I'm saying is I believe solo dating is experiencing a lot of things in the world first on your own before experiencing it with other people. I feel like that is very crucial. And I'm quite the type that is very, I don't know how you would say it, but I'm big on experiencing things on my own first. I'm a very greedy person when it comes to myself. Yeah, that's the word, greedy. I'm very greedy. I like to experience my things or the things of this world on my own first before having to experience those things with other people. And the reason why I say this, for an example, let's say I go diving, skydiving, right? I plan on going on skydiving. However, I plan on doing it alone because that is the most, I believe, for me, it will be the most biggest experience I would ever have right now. And it'll make me see life differently. Okay, the feeling I would get from diving is very crucial and very awakening, I would say, for me, right? So I would love to experience that alone at first hand, other than having to experience it with another person. Because I believe when I add another person into this experience, they would influence my judgment. It will cloud my judgment on the skydiving experience that I would take, right? For instance, they would say, oh my god, skydiving is really scary, like I fear it. Already that puts me on a different spot. It puts me on a different perspective because, oh, I never thought that it was scary. I just thought that it would be life changing. I thought it would be making me see the world with a different lens, all those things. But now that there's an outside influence in the picture of this particular experience, I'm thinking otherwise. I'm thinking, would I do it or would I not? Now I'm scared because I've already heard the influence of outside. But if I didn't hear the outside's influence, then I would be like, okay, you know what? Let me do it. Let me not overthink and just do it because I've already thought about it. You see, so I believe that experiencing some things or very crucial things in life on your own is very important. I don't believe that everything um should be with a company. Okay, some things you have to do alone. Honestly, to be truthfully, most things in life, the first stages of life are meant to be done alone. There are certain things that have to have your concentration and your influence and your judgment only. Nobody else's judgment has to be there so that you can actually get a clear picture, the authenticity of that experience is very crucial. So the big question is, why do we solo date? Now it is self-explanatory, obviously. We solo date to find out about ourselves, to acknowledge ourselves, because we're not only just interviewing ourselves, we are also treating ourselves right. We are actually acknowledging who we are, and we are acknowledging that we are in this world and we have our own presence. We don't need uh, other people validating our presence. You need to validate your presence that, okay, cool, I am in this world and I'm here alone. And let me enjoy life. Let me see how I can spoil and treat myself so that I know how to be treated when it comes from a second hand or a second person, in life. We date so that we can appreciate ourselves. We can acknowledge the fact that we are in this world as individuals, and we like different things. We appreciate the fact that it is all right to be different. It is all right to learn about yourself. We just want to be enhancing ourselves. Basically, anything that has to do with self is solo dating. I feel like that should be the biggest, the main word in solo dating. Just self. What is dating? It is self. Discovery of self. So we solo date because we appreciate ourselves. We want to appreciate ourselves. We want to know how um to treat ourselves and how we can be treated and how we actually treat others as well. Because obviously, if you know how to treat yourself, you would know how to treat other people, because you would know, okay, doing this makes me feel uncomfortable. So I would not do it on another person. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know your boundaries. Okay, it is appreciating your boundaries. Like, okay, it is setting your boundaries. You now know how to set your boundaries when you are solo dating. We solo date also because we know that now we can set specific, logical, and realistic standards. You can never get, let's say your standard is um a tall, dark, six figure with long hair and green eyes kind of guy. Like, you're not gonna get that, child. Well, if you did, that's good for you. But we solo date because we need to set specific, realistic, and logical standards, right? For the person or the people that we want to associate with or we want to put in our little circle. Solo dating also makes you set your priorities straight. Like whether you prioritize family or whether you prioritize friends. Let's say your friends come first. And subconsciously they come first because they're always there for you. When you call them, they answer the phone. When you ask them you got problems, they are there for solutions. They're giving out solutions for you. They're trying to help you at your darkest and at your lowest. And then here comes your family. When you call them, they hardly answer the phone. So subconsciously, you have prioritized them. So with solo dating yourself, it's like you now get to think like, oh, I don't know that my family is my second priority and my friends are the first. Oh, okay. Do I need to change it? I mean, at the end of the day, you prioritize the people that always show up for you when you need them. So you get to set your priorities straight when you are solo dating. You get to think about what is really important and what is not really important. At the end of the day, you prioritize the people that are just present in moments of darkness and in moments of light. We also solo date so that we can check in with ourselves. Remember, I feel sometimes we kind of get lost in a crowd, right? And you kind of just want to go with the flow on how everyone is just flowing, and you just want to also just flow. And sometimes there's a little voice at the back of your mind saying this is not the way to go. but you're just not listening to it because you're just going with the crowd, and you get lost in a crowd most of the time. So it is very important to go back and check in with yourself, see and feel, and actually ask yourself, how do I actually feel? Like, what is going on with me? What is the reason for me to go with the flow with this particular crowd? Honestly, I have done that many times, and they are like not permanent regrets, but just temporary regrets that I have gotten just by flowing with the crowd. And honestly, it made me almost ruin my reputation because I was just going with the flow with any crowd. So it is very important to just take a step back and check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this how I really feel about this? Is this a good thing for me? So solo dating keeps you in check, basically. It makes sure that you don't do anything recklessly. It makes sure that you are focused on your feelings, your thoughts, yourself, basically. It just makes sure that you don't do anything that you will regret. We also solo date because it will boost your confidence. Girl, my brother, it will boost your confidence because you will know what suits you and what does not. You will know the type of crowd you belong to and the type that you don't. What do I mean by that? So, if you are solo dating, you are interviewing yourself, you're getting to know yourself, right? So now you get to a point where you actually know that you don't like a certain type of crowd, so you're not gonna blend in with them because that's not your crowd. You're not gonna blend in with a crowd that will make you feel small, right? Yeah. And you would know when the crowd is starting to make you feel small. You would know that because you have done your homework on yourself. So you would go with a crowd that you are comfortable in, that will actually subconsciously boost your confidence, that will make you happy, that will make you feel light, feel alive. That's the kind of crowd you would follow. You won't now follow a crowd that has to judge you all the time, that you have to stay silent because speaking out loud will make you feel some type of way, or just being in the shadow. No, you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't go to that type of crowd because you already know who you are. Okay, you already done your homework. It'll also boost your confidence by knowing the type of style you like. Since you done your homework about yourself, okay, this is not for me. Nah. I'm not even gonna attempt this because it's not for me. You would know there are certain things that you can do, your strengths and your weaknesses, and you will try by all means to avoid your weaknesses. Trust me. But it's kind of hard sometimes to avoid your weaknesses because at the end of the day, you do have to face them. But trust me, if you know your weaknesses, you will know that you need to start working on them alone before you actually start facing them in the outside world when everybody's watching you. I hope that makes sense. Before I give homework, I have a disclaimer. Okay, so solo dating is not something that you will do up until 2 weeks or something that you would do for 3 months. It actually takes years because you get to learn about yourself continuously. You get to put yourself in different situations and different experiences daily. So I suggest that it's an uncaring thing. It is a continuous progress that you must have in your life, right? I did say, however, that it is a rite of passage when it comes to the dating life and the world in general to associate and interact with the people of this world. And I believe also that you need to start solo dating or do self introspection. I'm pretty sure age wise around when puberty starts hitting you. Yeah, from puberty, that's when you start to realize, okay, cool, I need to learn about myself more. They always do these things in school, where they life skills. Yeah, when they ask you who you are and what are your likes, what are your dislikes. I feel like, yeah, that is the time. They were telling us you need to start doing some self introspection. You need to start doing some solo dating in your life so that you can truly understand who you are. For homework, I need you to have a private book, a journal, and a pen, right? A private book. Ciao. So I need you to have a journal and a pen. And I want you to, of course, write down your feelings and your thoughts. Yes. But also, I feel like you should also write down um other people's positive thoughts about you. Emphasis on positive thoughts, right? Because it's very unhealthy to concentrate on negative thoughts about you from other people, of course. But however, there is no smoke without fire. So I would like to know what people think of me. Just for the sake of it, just like I said, there's no smoke without fire. Like, why would you think of me like that? What is the reason for you to think of me? That's what I just, that's what comes to mind when people just say, oh, I thought you were this type of a person. Why? Why? What makes you say that? What makes you think that I'm that type of a person? For an example, right? There was this girl, she came to me on campus at school and she was like, oh, I always thought that you were a biatch. I was like, oh, okay, why would you say that? Because of course, like I said, there's no smoke without fire. I was like, oh, I wanna know, like, I wanna know why you thought that. And then she was like, no, because this one time you were with your friends and this new guy, I didn't even know that he was new. Actually did not care whether he's new or not new. But anyways, I was like, this new guy came to you, and I think he was asking for directions because he had a timetable and he was pointing around, but you just neglected him. I was like, oh yeah, okay. In my defense, let me tell you guys what actually happened. That guy, manner of approach is very important. How to approach someone is very crucial. I think like we should have a lesson about this. But anyways, this guy did not tap me on the shoulder. He did not say hello. He did not say, excuse me. This guy tapped me on my butt cheek. He tapped me on my butt cheek and he was standing very close to me. Like, look, I understand that some people do not know how to handle other people in public environments, but personal space is very crucial. Personal space should be respected at all times. So he was just standing up, like standing in front of me so close, and he touched my butt cheek. Then I asked him, I was like, hey, why would you do that? He said, no, I just wanted to get your attention. No, a tap on the shoulder will do. A hello, in fact, will do. But, anyways, so I was shouting at him because, yeah, like, what do you mean? So I was shouting at him. I was like, you need to walk away from me right now. Walk away. And he just left. But I did not explain that to the girl because honestly, she doesn't really deserve my explanation because what is she gonna do about it? It happened. It's done. But I did want to know about why she thought that I was a biatch, and that was her perspective. She saw me doing all that, but she did not know the reason why I did that. You see? Oh, this whole time my mic has been off. Oh my god! And I had to start over. Anyways, okay, not over. But anyways, the second step that you could do is just to go out and take a walk. Take a walk around your area. Get to align yourself with nature is very important. Yeah. So aligning yourself with nature and just tapping into Mother Nature, tapping into your consciousness and your surrounding, and reflecting on how like your surrounding is when it comes to you. Like for an example, like um asking yourself how it would be or how it would feel if you actually stayed in your area and actually lived in your area for the rest of your life. Like I wouldn't suggest that. But another way also could be just going on a picnic on your own, just having some food on the ground, eating and just reflecting on your thoughts and your memories, just tapping down to memory lane, all those kind of things. You could also have a movie date. You don't actually have to go out to the movies, but you could just watch some movies here at home and just all alone and just think about how the movie makes you feel. Also just try to do something that will push your limits. For an example, skydiving. I feel like that will push my limits. I really want to do that because I feel like it's gonna open another door in my subconscious mind that I want to open. By the way, I'm not a very spiritual person, so yeah, you can tell I'm very yeah. So I feel like doing something that's gonna push your limits, such as skydiving, and what else? You can also do what are those things, what's it called? You get into like this other room and you start just bashing down things and hammering them down just to release anger. Yeah, I feel like that one is also crucial because we know that most of us have so much anger in ourselves. We have so much bad energy that we have trapped into our hearts and into our bodies, and we need to acknowledge that and let it go. So I feel like doing those type of activities would help to let all that bad energy and negative energy that was inside of you just to be released and thrown into the air and let it go. Yeah. So also solo dating, I believe also it is about being independent. Okay, being on your own is being independent. So pushing or having is it on? I'm sorry, y'all. Pushing or having um activities that will push your independency is very crucial. Like, how far can you go on your own? I feel like you should think about that, and I feel like you should tap into those activities um to help you think about how far can you go being on your own. So solo dating is about independency. All right, guys, I've been Ciely and bye.